Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Colorado football games are the most exhilarating, entertaining things of all time. Colorado came out and played like a completely different team than we have ever seen of all time, stunning UCF at home. Completely blown the doors off, neutralizing that explosive run game, having a run game of their own. Travis Hunter is, of course, the best player ever step on a football field. Sorry about it. Shedeur Sanders looks sensational, and Colorado looks like a football team, and they've met their win total of last year. Looks like Deion Sanders has a little goddamn year under his belt. So let's get into it. Talk about scores, the game, situations, go through Twitter, see what people's reactions were. A nice little combination of a few different things. First off, I hope y'all enjoying these videos. I'm gonna try to get a lot of reactions out from the things that y'all been talking about and things like that. A lot of requests, so I'm gonna try to get those knocked out. Appreciate y'all supporting the college football content, and let's get right into the most shocking game of the college football year. Look. Colorado's gonna do it. They're gonna do it in a lot of different ways, right? They're gonna find ways to make entertaining football happen, and by God, did they find more ways to make entertaining football happen? So just to start off, I think the conversation needs to start with just some Bear stuff, and let's just talk about the game. Let's talk about the anticipation coming into it. Let's talk about the running game. Let's talk about some of the implications, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we'll just let's just leave this masterpiece of a photo up. Yeah, let's talk about it. Preview this game, the preamble. Right, Colorado, one of the worst rushing offenses in the nation, going against the number one rushing attack in the nation in UCF. You're away. You still don't have Shiloh back. That's been a pretty big thing that we've been understanding about this Colorado team. You looked like you could barely survive a Baylor team who is, by all means, if it was an NFL team, they'd be in a rebuild mode. You know what I mean? So it wasn't looking great for this team. This game, in my mind, I thought this was one of those games where, hey, they're going to go in and possibly earn some respect and show that they can actually operate as a real football team. Boy, did they do that. They did that even more. Now, a big point here, the Ohio State transfer who hadn't played since the North Dakota game, and that's why in these last three games, they've been like switching out. You got Welch, the freshman, who's been getting some more play. But Colorado was a running football team this game. And that is the craziest sentence I think I would have ever said in the last 2 years. That first half of football was the most, for Colorado standards, the most well-executed half of football under the Deion Sanders era. I'm not the only person to say that. You're going to see some more tweets probably before this, and when we look at it, there's other people who also gladly agree that this is got to be the most effective half of football that has been performed within the Deion Sanders regime. So we're going to get in these stats for a second, but just to talk about, like I said, the rushing attack was potent. They stuck with it. It looked like that offensive line was moving bodies, and that is the biggest thing there. When you're having that good movement at the point of attack, which Colorado kept doing it consistently, you're gonna have some really good success. And you can see the final score, 48-21. Blew the doors off UCF and Gus Malzahn, giving them their first loss and starting off their conference, Colorado 2-0. They were supposed to. This was a Big 12 conference where they were supposed to actually have a challenge. Last year was supposed to be their chance going against the Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? A soft teams, you ain't got to have a stout defense. You just have to have a high-powered offense to compete in the Pac-12. This Big 12 seems to be a little more complete, but Colorado looks like more of a complete team. And before we get into the stats, I just want to say, let's go back here because we're going to get in the stats. We're going to talk more about it. I talked about the run game being effective. Oh, before I talk about that, before we get into Travis Hunter glaze, just for a second, that Colorado defense, rushing defense specifically, we can talk about their pass defense. They need to be able to get to the passer a lot more effective. As something that they're missing from their defense. But red zone defense, and I've told y'all can go watch my other videos. I told y'all, and we looked at the numbers, red zone defense and run defense, they have not been bad at all. That defense in totality has been mid to terrible, but rush defense and red zone defense, they've been extremely effective in. And speaking of extremely effective, to end the game, KJ Jefferson's coming to get trying to get a garbage time touchdown. They get a fumble recovery, take that thing 95 yards. The defense was showing up. They were flying around. They were at the point of attack. They were meeting gaps. And it wasn't just that they were making plays on defense, because Travis Hunter just flies around and make plays. Like, I mean, he's just that talented. the defense was playing like a defense, like fitting gaps. The fits were right. They were trusting their help on the inside to outside. Those two defensive ends played their minds out, setting the edge, being effective, disrupting, causing. So as a whole, that defense, wow. As a run game, wow. Travis Hunter is the greatest player to ever step on a football field. I'm tired of it. I'm gonna have a separate video. We're gonna look at his stats specifically. I'm pushing propaganda now. I don't care. Colorado can lose every other game for the rest of the season by 50. I am writing in my ballot in November. Travis Hunter for Heisman. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I watched Christian McCaffrey's Heisman get snatched. I watched Jabril Peppers' Heisman get snatched. I watched Matt Teo's fake girlfriend and Heisman get snatched. I'm not letting it happen this time, okay? I'm going to go to my wits' end to make sure 12 gets the Heisman. Let me just say this, and this is to also give Shedeur his credit as well. When Travis Hunter goes out, specifically offensively, I talked to you about it a little bit defensively. When he goes out offensively, and you hear the announcers talk about it, the whole Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes thing, Travis Hunter is just out, he's just running around. That's it. He just finds space. He sits down. Oh, I guess I can bend this up another 10 yards. Is Shedeur and is he? Does he need help? Oh, let me just run 15 more yards over here and just catch everything that's possible. Like, even look at that touchdown. It's on a glance route. That's a slant route that he kind of waited and then bent in just because he knew how to manipulate the space in the defense. He just finds places to be, and he just be there, and he catches it, and then he'd be running, and it'd be crazy. Had that insane pick, which his picks, no one wants to throw at Travis Hunter. So when Travis Hunter gets a pick, it's a little more work. He did something similar to the TCU game, if y'all remember. And I'm sorry, I know that was a whole year ago, first game of the season, but I still have that pick etched in my mind. Being able to pass somebody off and hit a pick, it was a similar scenario right there. Remarkable play on defense, remarkable play on offense. I don't care who you are and who you think you are. I'm voting. I don't even have a vote. I'm voting Heisman for Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter for what? Yeah, Heisman him, please. He's 12. Let's look at some of these facts and stats. So I talked a lot about that. But let's see where the stats kind of back up into this whole scenario here. So first off, KJ Jefferson has been mid for a long time. He was mid at Arkansas. I don't know why people wanted to treat KJ Jefferson as if he was this elite world beater. But one thing that he did do great, and I was afraid for this Colorado defense. Oh, yeah, by the way, I was wrong. I projected UCF was going to win, not by a lot. I thought it was going to be a decently close game. I did not expect this in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But what KJ Jefferson does do well is tote that rock. And you could see coming into the second half, Gus Malzahn did make a really good adjustment. And the adjustment he made was to continue pressuring the outsides of the offense and of the defense. And they had done that in the first half, but the intentionality behind it was a little different because they were doing that and influencing that and letting it, they wouldn't go big. He touched the edge. Okay, 5, 6, 7 here. And then he would do that same action, pull it, and let KJ Jefferson run for 20 yards. Multiple times, they kept that influence. Same motion. Hey, wide receiver motion, we give it. Wide receiver motion, give it. Okay, give it to the running back. Wide receiver motion, slow mesh. He keeps it and goes for 20. KJ Jefferson is insanely scary when the ball is being put in his hand and he's allowed to make moves on the ground. And they did give that to him. RJ Harvey, I think number 6 leading rusher in the nation. He was pretty effective too. 16 rushes for 77 yards is not the worst day at the office. KJ Jefferson for 20, 35, 284, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was absolutely disgusting with the football. I think he also fumbled too. They both fumbled. I mean, everything went well for a Colorado side, but I do want it to say, like, this wasn't a UCF team that just didn't show up at all. It was a UCF team got punched in the mouth and probably didn't expect Colorado to be playing the sort of offense that they were and playing the defense, how stoutly they were. But these aren't slouch numbers. It's some sloppy numbers from UCF. These fumble recoveries and those other 2 interceptions, nothing great. But other than that, you can see when we get into these stats that The biggest point is that is Colorado came to play. Like they really came to play, and they played a good game. Shedeur Sanders, this is nothing new. Win, loss, or draw, his stats are going to look similar. 28-35. God, 28 for 35. That's efficient as fuck. 293 touchdowns and an interception. We don't like those. But I mean, the kids, and let me get, because I gave Travis his shine, I give the defense his shine. I'm so tired, and y'all did this all summer. Y'all wanted to conflate the person and the personality that Shedeur is with him being a bad football player, and it's just y'all not gonna be able to do it. Not the people who've watched football for more than 2 years, and I've been watching it a little longer than that, son. But if you've watched the game and see him play football, you'd say, okay, yeah, that is a first round talent at quarterback. I'm not sure if he's the number 1 pick, but the things that he does from a football standpoint, like the ability to stretch plays, the ability to run when he needs to run. No one ever classifies him as a runner, but he uses it when he needs to. He spends so much time at creating extra time in the pocket. That was the biggest deciding factor on these long second downs. Colorado had a lot of penalty trouble when it was getting into the nitty gritty, like that the middle 8. You know what I'm saying? Getting into the end of the second half, and they were in some weird scenarios, long thirds, medium third downs, and the fact that Shedeur was always keeping things alive, and shout out to offensive line, they played a good game too. Let's not understate that. But Shedeur Sanders was doing amazing things, and 393 touchdowns and a pick, I don't think fully states the fantastic things that he was doing, keeping plays alive, making a lot of big decisions. That touchdown to Shepard, dog, I'm looking at this ball, which had like 17 seconds of airtime. Like, did he just throw this to throw in the back of the end zone? And then I see, there's a defender right underneath it. And then I see Shepard jump up like a goddamn Shamu and just snatch it from him. And it was a touchdown. I went from Shedeur's just throwing away to Shedeur, is he having a problem, to Shedeur knows something I don't know. That is called a trust play, and this is what I mean by the high level of football that he's playing. That in all other instances, if you were to just look at that, you would say you probably shouldn't throw to that double covered receiver. But you gotta know about that 6'3" dog. What's his name? His name's Weaver, or what's his name? Is his name Weaver or his name? Sorry, Shepard. You got to know about the 6'3" dog that can go up and get it. He knew he had a 6'3" dog that can go up and get it. He has 3rd and long. He puts that thing in a beautiful arcing motion where, hey, if you don't get this thing, it will be an interception, but you've got the chance to get it. He trusts his guy. He goes up and makes a remarkable catch. I think the catch was better than the throw. Great throw, but an even better catch. And that was just like, wow, this is not someone who's just trying to dink and dunk. This is not just someone just trying to put the ball. He is trying to push the ball when he gets a chance to, and the confidence being grown from him having some time under the pocket. And I didn't like him holding the ball too long. He's accustomed to doing that. He made some bad mistakes, but at the same time, remarkable game. So continuing on and continuing forward, look at these rushing yards, and I love the fact that we get Hayden back, right, and we just feed him. We just feed him carries. 128 yards. This is, and Michael Welch, a freshman, wiped these yards from 15 from Shedeur off. This is what I keep talking about, and people get in my comments and act like I'm wishing the worst for Colorado when I say, hey, keep running the ball, stick with the run game. This run game looked effective, but when you look at it, a total 100 yards, a total of 100 yards. Like, let's just say that, let's take away the extra 11, let's take away the extra 4, let's take away the extra 15, just straight 100 yards compared to the 177 yards, right? Like, Colorado doesn't need to win the game by rushing, but they need to be able to control the game, give their defense some breaks, and allow them to be elite on the other side. And that's what they did this game. That's why this was a 48-21 domination. And Colorado was sitting pretty at 2-0 in conference, and now we're starting to scratch our heads. They've met their win total of last year. They look effective. Travis Hunter looks like he's playing better football. Shedeur Sanders looks like he's playing better football. That offensive line is starting to mature a lot better. Defensive is really starting to find their identity, and that's without their a second emotional leader in Shedeur Sanders. Hey man, it's a hard day to be a Colorado hater. But if you enjoy entertaining football, you're having a great time. Please leave a like on this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Leave a comment and tell me what your prediction was for this game, because I had Colorado losing. I was wrong. What's your most anticipated a game coming into next week? Is Colorado a slight, like a sneak in playoff team? Let me know in the comments, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be breezy. We'll see you next.